Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Sorry I wasn't doing this the past few days, it's been a little bit crazy. I'll get into that during this video. So, a verse I was reading today that really stuck with me, I was reading through Bible study I'm doing while I was getting ready for work this morning, is a very popular one. It's 2 Timothy 1:7. The translation I like to use, which is the Amplified one, says, "For God did not give us a spirit of timidity or cowardice or fear, but He has given us a spirit of power and of love and of sound judgment and personal discipline, abilities that result in a calm, well-balanced mind and self-control." I mean, obviously there's extra things in there, but they're kind of important because they made me think, due to the story I'm about to tell you. I'm not really going to go into what that verse really means, because, this is a very used verse. This is one of those verses that's thrown out all the time, but it's actually one of the few verses that's used all the time that's actually usually kept in context. So if you look up things to, learn about this verse, most of what you read should actually be right. It's not going to pull a Philippians 4:13 where half the time it's used wrong. This one's actually going to be usually used correctly. The thing is, this verse is very easy to understand, in your head, but can kind of be hard to understand in your heart as you're going about things. It's really easy to be like, God didn't give me a spirit of fear. He gave me a spirit of calmness. That's easy to say, but hard to do. And it's definitely not something that you can force for yourself. Because, that's just not how that works. God gives you the spirit. You don't, yank it and then, force it to happen. You don't give yourself the spirit of, power, love, and self-control. God gives it to you. But I realized that due to a situation that happened yesterday that, I understand this verse a lot more. Rather than when I was dealing with difficult things, I would often, this would be a verse a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you're dealing with this? Oh, you have really bad anxiety? Here's 2 Timothy 1:7. And I'm like, "Great, I don't get it. Yay, I'm gonna, pray on it, but, cool." And, so, it's one of those verses that you say and it kind of makes you feel better, but you don't get. At least for me, that was what it was like. But yesterday, I finally did it in action, and then today when I was reading it, I realized that fact. So, yesterday, while I was getting ready for work, so I go to work, at the crack, before dawn. I leave for work at, 3:30 in the morning, because I work third shift right now, because that's where God has me. But anyways, so I go to work, and my cat gets out, and I don't realize it, because it's still pitch black out, and it was snowing yesterday. It was snowing in Indiana yesterday, so I am not paying attention to anything. My cat sneaks up behind me, runs, don't realize it. I go to work, everything, and, I get home, and I realize my cat's gone, and so, but I must say, even though, I did a bunch of things, I texted all my friends, asked them for prayer, I ran, and, one of my friends asked me for, pictures and information for her to print off flyers for me after class if I don't find my cat before she gets out of class. I called the animal shelter to, let them know my cat was missing. I did, everything, I put the litter box in the food bowl outside, all that good stuff. But the thing is that despite the fact that I was very actively doing everything to take care of my cat, I was not freaked out. If people ask, I know when I was talking, I was like, yeah, I was a little stressed. But then, looking back, that wasn't stress. And, I don't mean that I'm great, I don't know. But I mean, comparatively, I know what my really stressed is, and that was not it. I was very much okay, checked, I was okay, cat did not come to me when I opened the door. That's weird. Let me look. Nope, he's not there. Let me look here. Nope, he's not here. Let me like check behind the washing machine. Nope. Check behind the couch. Nope. Where's my cat? And like, you know, I let myself search the apartment for like 10 minutes and I realized there's no cat. There's no cat. And there's no way he's just hiding and that I can't see him. I like hear him behind me and I'm trying to see where he is. Like there's no cat. And so I'm like, okay. Pev. His name's Pev. Pev, where are you? Okay, no answer. Okay. Oh, hi, Pev. He's at my feet. So, you know, I'm like, okay. Here we are. Where's my cat? So, but instead of then like, like I totally could have, I was like, okay, let me text some friends and ask them for some prayer real fast. My phone was about to die, so let me charge my phone. While I'm charging my phone, I text my friends and ask them for prayer. I make a Facebook status with some pictures of him, letting them people know, please look out for him, and also like, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then once my phone gets to a certain amount of battery, I'm going to put my coat back on and my scarf, and put my boots back on, and then we're gonna go back outside and we're gonna look for my cat for a bit. And so that's what I did. And like that was literally like that, how evenly I said it was how evenly I was saying it yesterday. Even though I was like, okay, I need to find my cat. I need to do X, Y, and Z to look for my cat. But I never once was like freaking out. I never once cried. I never once was going crazy. I never once started to like worry. So I was like, God's got this. I don't know why I gotta let my cat out, but God's got this. Everything's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. And like, the thing is that like, what was it? There was another verse that I read earlier today, that also reminded me of it. It's somewhere in Psalm 119, but you know how long Psalm 119 is. It's really long. So, give me a moment to, you know, like, I'm going to keep talking while I look at it. But, like, you know, it was a verse that was like, okay, I'm not going to look at it because it's way too long. It was a verse that's like, you know, the enemy tries to sway you, but you stay on your path. But God keeps me on my path. And like that was what was going on. The enemy was trying to freak me out. The enemy was trying to get me to kind of like mess up and like freak out and have a total freak out instead of stay calm and focus on God. But I didn't do it. I was like, okay, I'm going to text these people, let them know to pray for me. I'm going to pray real fast. And then I'm going to go look for my cat outside. And that's what I did because I knew that God had, like, the enemy might have caused my cat to get out to try and freak me out, but God is going to be able to make this good. You know, God is not going to mess me up. And, like, it's true. Like, I found my cat, in case you were wondering. He's fine. He's completely fine. He's a mama's boy. I heard him crying from, like, a mile away. He, like, smelled me, and, like, he heard me say Pev, and he started crying like a little freaking baby. Which is hilarious, because he's giant. Aren't you, Pev? Oh, silly cat. But, yeah, so, but the thing is that I was calm. I did not freak out. I did not give in to fear. I knew I could have. And I know some of my friends that I was texting about my cat missing were more freaked out about my cat missing than I was. And like, it's fine. Because, you know, as I said, I did not give in to fear. I was not timid. I wasn't scared. I wasn't afraid of what to do next. I just rested in God. I was calm. I was balanced. I was able to control my thoughts instead of letting them go crazy. As I said, I have anxiety, so, you know, that's a thing. And I was able to control myself. So self-control and discipline. I was able to keep myself balanced. I never once started the teeter-totter. And I was calm. And I just was like, God, you got it. I love my cat. Like, the thing is like, you might be like, well, okay, like, but how is that a freak out? Like, I love my cat more than most things on this world. Obviously, I love God first. And if God told me to give up my cat, I would. But, like, right now, if somebody told me that they would stop being my friend unless I got rid of my cat, I would say goodbye to that friend. And it's not because I'm one of those crazy cat ladies. It's not because, like, I am obsessed with my cat. Like, I love him to death, but, like, and it's, you know, I love him like, you know, a mom. I love him because he's my kid. I've raised him since he was, like, a month old. He's my cat. He's my baby. I've had him for over a year now. Like, I'm his mom. But the thing is that I know God put this cat in my life. And I'm not, like, saying that as in, like, this cat saved me. He legitimately saved my life. And I don't mean in, like, the I was sad and then I got a cat, so now I have a friend. I mean, like, a year ago, last November, my apartment caught on fire. There was a wiring error in my stove, and my apartment caught on fire, and I was about to pass out from smoke inhalation because it happened to the smoke took over slowly without me realizing it, and I was literally getting lightheaded and drowsy and was starting to nod off from smoke inhalation. And right as I was about to fall asleep at my desk and, like, die, my cat woke me up. Pev slashed at me and yowled at me until I turned around, and, like, there was so much smoke I couldn't even see my bedroom door. Like, that's how smoke-filled my apartment was, and I didn't even realize it because it happened so slowly that I didn't see the change. And I didn't smell it because it was the first day I turned my heaters on, and my smoke detector apparently was broken. So, like, you know, I smelled something burning, but I was like, oh, it's the first day of the heaters, it's an old building, it's fine. And then, like, my smoke detector was broken, so, like, how was I supposed to know when it got too bad? That's why we have a smoke detector. And, like, so I legitimately, I went to the hospital the next day for smoke inhalation issues. But yeah, like, cat saved my life. I love him a lot. I would do most anything for this cat because not only is he a good cat, but, like, he saved me and God put him in my life for a reason. And so, you know, I'm like, God, like, you aren't gonna cause this cat to leave before he's supposed to. I trust what you're gonna do here. I'm gonna keep searching. I'm gonna do everything I'm supposed to, but I know you're gonna make him come home when he's supposed to. And I was praying that while I was walking around outside looking for him. And then I ran into these two girls who were moving in to my, like, 3 apartment buildings down from me, but the same complex. And I was like, God's like, ask them. So I ran up to them and I'm like, hey, have you seen this hulking mass of a cat? He is a giant cat. He's a mama's boy. He loves people, so he might run up to you, and he also meows a lot. So have you heard a cat yowling or anything? And they're like, oh, you mean like that one? A cat just started yowling when you started talking to us. Because my baby knows my voice. And so I stop talking and I hear him. And I call him and he comes running over to me. And oh my gosh, my baby. My baby. But anyways, so I got my cat back. And I didn't freak out the entire time. And due to then chatting with the 2 girls with my cat in my arms, I befriended them, and we're going to hang out sometime. So God used that whole situation to prove to me, 1, I trust him, even in times of peril. 2, I have proven that I do go directly to prayer and go to people to ask for prayer when things go wrong. 3, you know, as I said, I don't freak out, and I lean on God when things go weird. But I don't freak out. I don't let myself get stressed really much anymore. And I trust God with things that I think are very important. And 4, God turned it into something good. He turned me, my little freak out, into an ability for me to share the gospel with these 2 new girls in my apartment building. So I consider yesterday A+. But that's also why I didn't make a video yesterday, because as soon as I finished wrangling my cat, I, like, fell asleep. He's fine. He was shivering because of the snow. He's never interacted with snow before. But he's fine. He's perfectly good. It's probably good for him that happened anyway. Give him some fear of the outdoors. But yeah, so 2 Peter, I was reading 2 Peter earlier. 2 Timothy 1:7. It's a verse, once again, if you don't recognize that verse, look it up. It's a good verse. But I wanted to give you my story that tied in with it to kind of understand better, like, a personal, practical application of it. Because it's one of those verses that's thrown around so often that you don't actually think about the practical application or, like, the actual use of it. Because it's kind of just like, oh, yeah, God didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of power and love and all that. And, like, you're kind of like, okay, cool. It's kind of like, almost like, John 3:16 has almost lost its power as well, because you're kind of like, oh yeah, God so loved the world, yeah, cool. And like, no, that's a big verse. There's a reason it's thrown around so often, because it's a big one, but it's become small because it's used so often. It's like a party favor verse rather than like an actual, like, bam, hard-hitting verse. And like, that's not cool. And that's the same with this one. 2 Timothy 1:7 is a bam, hard-hitting verse, not a party favor placating verse. So yeah, there's my story to give it a little bit more oomph. So let's pray. God, thank you so much for giving us the spirit of calm and peace and power and love, God. Thank you so much for not giving us that spirit of fear. Thank you so much for elevating us out of fear into calm and trust in you, Lord. Please, Lord, continue to give us that peace as we go about our day to day, and continue to fill us with love and peace and calm and self-control, Lord, so that way we do not fall into fear and like losing control out of fear and stress, Lord. Continue to remind us that you were there so that way we can trust you, Lord, and continue, Lord, also to help us feel the power behind your verses, behind your word, rather than just letting them be empty words in our life, Lord. Continue to show us the power behind your words instead of just having them be like party favors in our life, God. Your words have power, and we misuse them or use them emptily all the time, God. And please stop us from doing so. Teach us the real power. Help us feel the real power. Give us experiences that show just what your words mean, so that way we no longer just kind of throw them around emptily without any use, God. I want to be able to understand your word better, and I want to be able to know it deep in my soul and in my body and in my mind and in my heart, Lord. So make it so my whole body can experience each and every one of your verses, Lord, so that way I can understand thoroughly what you actually mean, rather than taking you for granted, Lord. Please take care of us and watch us as we go through our day, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen. Y'all have a good day, guys. Bye.